Here I am once again standing in front of the Advanced Reproductive Services Clinic, and there is a very noticeable absence of anybody else. Repeatedly, I have called out some of the groups who stand in front of Planned Parenthood and protest there, and yet they adamantly refuse to protest here at the Arms Clinic. I've told them where it is, I've told them what they're about, and I've told them exactly what's done here, and apparently it's of no significance and it's no consequence to any of these people who protest Planned Parenthood. So I figured I'd come out here, do another call-out video, and show them for the hypocrisy that they seem to want to propagate. See, it's so significant that they go out there and they protest Arizona abortion clinics, and yet as I come out here, they're not anywhere to be found. And that's fine. I understand it's a little bit hot out here. It's about 105 degrees. And yet they will go out in 116. The temperature reached 116 degrees yesterday, and they were out there protesting a Planned Parenthood clinic. So why is that? Is it because the parents in this place are not accessible? That seems to be where their focus is. They don't want to focus on saving babies, because if they wanted to focus on saving babies, they'd be working on the babies in here. The thousands of embryos that are currently immersed in liquid nitrogen. But no, they want to go out there under the guise of saving babies, and their sole purpose is out there to denigrate the men and women who go into Planned Parenthood clinics because they're available. Now, I'm going to get behind the camera for a moment, and we're going to get some pan footage and all that, and we're going to see exactly why this is not protested. So as we take a pan around, there's one thing that's quite noticeable, is that there's no access to the parents. The parents don't park anywhere in the public view. So that creates a major hindrance and a major inconvenience to that work that Christianity wants to proclaim is so righteous in quote-unquote saving babies. This includes people like Red Door Ministries, Apologia Church. There are representatives from First Baptist Church in Chandler who go out there to Planned Parenthood, and yet not one of them, not a single person, will be out here today. Nobody came out before my shooting this footage. Nobody is out here now, and nobody will come out here. Nobody will come out here because the purpose is not to save babies. The purpose is to denigrate women, and the purpose is to eliminate health care for women. Now, as we look here at this grand building, and we'll just kind of get a little bit of motion going on here, but looking at this, at the Arizona Reproductive Medical Specialists, great big huge logo, it's pretty obvious that they're here. It's pretty obvious what they do, and yet somehow Christianity would rather go find some isolated, desolate location to protest and stand in front of. So that's what we see happening here today. What we see happening here today is absolutely nothing. Nothing at all. Because apparently, in spite of the fact that it's against God's will for Planned Parenthood to do what Planned Parenthood does, God is perfectly fine with what goes on in this building behind me. God is perfectly okay with man creating lives. God is perfectly okay with man replacing the work that God does with the work that man does. And the Christians have constantly supported that very view, with the fact that they won't come out here. They simply refuse. After being called out over and over and over again, they will not come out here and protest this location. Apparently, babies in glass test tubes are quite acceptable. Babies in glass test tubes don't deserve personhood. And I want you to think about that for a moment, because there are far more babies in glass test tubes that don't have personhood than there are at Planned Parenthood that don't have personhood. So keep on protesting. So keep on protesting the Planned Parenthood clinics. That's where I want you to be. I want you to stand in front of those Planned Parenthood clinics, and I want you to waste your time there. I want you to waste your efforts and I want you to waste your energy. Because while I'm standing out here at the one place that I absolutely need to make absolutely sure that these embryos don't get personhood, and the Roman Catholic Church and other Christian organizations are standing behind me 100%, and they're going to say the same thing. They absolutely cannot have these embryos behind me getting personhood. And as long as those embryos behind me don't get personhood, abortion will continue. Planned Parenthood's doors will continue to stay open. Women will continue to have access to women's health care. Women will continue to have access to reproductive management care, just like the women in here have the exact same access to the exact same reproductive management care. And yet Christianity wants to continue to refuse to call it reproductive management health care, in spite of the fact that on the very name Arizona Reproductive Medicine Specialist. I'm going to wrap the video up here. The call out is complete. I'm going to go ahead and post in the credits all the people that I want to call out for their hypocrisy, for their negligence, for their lack of inspiration to do anything that they're saying that they want to do. It's become pretty obvious to me. It's going to start becoming obvious to everybody, including the Arizona House, the Arizona Senate, that every endeavor to stop abortion is bullshit. All these protests in front of the Planned Parenthood clinics are all empty. All the words that they speak of the gospel are all absolutely heresy. None of it means anything. As long as I stand here alone in front of this clinic and I stand here doing these call-out videos, nothing will change. We're all going to stand out there in front of Planned Parenthood clinics, yell at each other. You know, you're going to preach, I'm going to blaspheme. But I tell you what, as long as I can keep drawing all of you out there to those Planned Parenthood clinics, as long as I can keep drawing you to keep protesting at those Planned Parenthood clinics, by all means, feel free to show up there. Don't come here. Don't come to this place, because I don't want you here. I don't want these babies to have personhood. I don't want these embryos inside here to have personhood. If you want to call them babies, I'll even call them babies publicly, but they don't get personhood. So I just got done filming at Arizona Reproductive Medical Services Clinic out here on, obviously, as much as I've said it before, on 17th Street and Thomas, where, of course, the Christians failed to show. So I'm going to go home, develop this film, and one final thought here for all those Christians who are watching, you keep praying for me. You keep praying for me, and I'll keep thinking for you. Thanks for watching.